The new Nigeria starts with you. Politicians can never change this country, not without you. You are the most powerful person occupying the most powerful position in Nigeria, the office of the citizen. The success or failure of Nigeria depends on you, not the politicians. You. I know what you're thinking. I can see that you are frustrated with the current state of our country, and it's understandable to feel angry and powerless when we see problems around us that seem beyond our control. But I want to remind you that there are things you can do in the office of the citizen to make a powerful difference, even if they may seem small. Firstly, remember that you have direct control over your own actions and behavior. You can choose to be kind, compassionate, and respectful towards others, even if you disagree with them. You can also choose to stand up against discrimination, prejudice, and injustice whenever you encounter them in your own life. Secondly, you can get involved in your local community and work towards positive change at a grassroots level. Now imagine 50 million citizens who are just like you, doing the same thing and working on change within their local communities. No political party can cause that kind of change. Now, this could involve volunteering for local charities or advocacy groups, joining a neighborhood association, or attending town hall meetings to voice your concerns. Thirdly, you can make a difference through the choices you make as a consumer. By choosing to support companies and products that align with your values, you can send a message to businesses that they need to prioritize ethical and sustainable practices that help create a better country for everyone. Finally, I want to encourage you to stay informed and engaged with the issues that matter to you. By staying up to date on current events and seeking out diverse perspectives, you can better understand the complexities of the challenges facing our country and the world. And by sharing your knowledge and insights with others, you can inspire positive change in your own community as a powerful individual in the office of the citizen. You have two options. You can choose to focus on the negative aspects of our current situation, or you can choose to look for opportunities to create positive change and make a difference in your immediate environment. I know that it can be overwhelming to think about all the problems facing our country today. However, I believe that by recognizing the power we have as holders of the office of the citizen, focusing on the things we can control, and working towards positive change in our own lives, we can create a brighter future for ourselves and for future generations. All right, so I'm coming from a direction where I can tell you that over my decades of existence as a Nigerian, there's been constant focus on how powerless we are to make things change. And we're always looking to the powers above us. And there's this different perspective where we're not focusing on what we can't do at the negative, but what we can do at the level of the individual. When you said the issue that, amongst each other, we don't really have issues, but it's those from above, I was saying in my mind, that's exactly what we need for the individual to know that with him lies the power. And if you take all these small things that seem irrelevant. Now, imagine everybody in this room, for instance. Let's assume we're a country. Let's assume you are Hausa. I know you are not, but let's assume you are Hausa. I'm Igbo, you are Yoruba.
I could be. I could have Hausa blood and not know it. That's
exactly.
You actually have Hausa blood and not know it.
It's true, it's possible.
So if we relate with each other based on the human level, and I'm looking for how can I do things that will benefit the three of us. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about how I can strengthen the values that I hold, to be very strong, that I hold to be very important it's you viewing what I'm doing cascades upwards, and before we know it, we have a great effect in the nation. So I'm going to start with you, Elijah. In what ways have you, worked on the positive side of what could be in the country?
Your questions are always very thoughtful. Deep. Well, my personal capacity, right from my university days up to now, I always have a sense of service and leadership, and exemplary living for a model Nigeria. So I've worked with several organizations in time past to foster unity, maybe through programs that encourage young people to understand the essence of leadership and community development within their environments. Up to this moment, I still like to interact with other young persons and make them to understand how they can be better. Because when you are better as an individual, the country is going to be better. It's going to be a summation of every other thing. So we are trying to deal about issues facing us as Nigerians. We have poverty. These are the major issues: poverty and maybe not lack of enough opportunities for young people and the rest. But in our own little corner, we should try and encourage other young people to young people, mentor people you can, skills transfer, teach people you can, train people, and then those people that have the means too. You don't have to be in government to support young people or women or anybody. You can, if you have the means to, you can maybe work with relevant government agency just to push this through, maybe by creating awareness, funding opportunity for women and youths for their businesses and all those things. And above all, drive national consciousness. The tribalism you see is a thief of our democratic processes. We are facing insecurity and poverty. These two conditions have no tribe, have no religion. And yet you see some people whipping up ethno-religious sentiments, thereby beclouding our sense of reasoning that we cannot even solve our problem. We don't even know where to start solving the problem. So above all, those people that are seeking political office, if they didn't give you an opportunity to run for an office, that thing you said you want to do, try and do it in your own personal capacity. It's achievable. It's achievable. If you go meet relevant government agencies, you do the right thing. I'm sure if you try to tell them this and this and this, there's no way they will not want to buy into and give you some sort of, it might not be easy, but it's possible for you to work with the government where necessary to encourage young people and women in a large scale. I'm using young people and women because these are the demographics that are more affected by our problems in Nigeria. Insecurity is affecting a lot of young people and women. You know how many women that have been married off to terrorists, killed, raped, and young people killed too, or even kidnapped, or used as thugs, social vices involved because they want to survive. Even if you don't have the capacity to reach out to government institution for partnership, at an individual level, you can help your neighbor, inspire people within your community to be a positive Nigerian, a positive change. That's what I think.
Thank you very much. It's from the citizens that we end up getting the leaders. So a lot of times you hear that we get the leaders we deserve because they are us.
A reflection of who we are.
Some of us, when we get there, we'll do the same things because we've not built that office where, what you do in a small way is what you're going to do in a big way. Yeah. So what's your take on this?
Yeah, okay. Very interesting issue. I feel, when I think of these things, I remember Chinua Achebe, God bless his soul. He used to say then that...
It seems you're an ardent reader of Chinua Achebe's work.
I loved him. Yeah. He used to say then that the problem with Nigeria is simply and squarely that of leadership. In fact, that was his first sentence in a book. But you are right. The citizen is important. You go down history, you look at what citizens have done for their country. Martin Luther King held no office till he died. Mahatma Gandhi held no office till he died. He didn't hold any office. It's strange, but he never held any office. But he was very influential in the affairs of his country. So there's a place for the citizen and the influence he can bring about to bear on this country. Mother Teresa was just, she was just a nun. In fact, she lived most of her life in half seclusion. But each time she went into society, she impacted society. We can impact society. When I was younger, okay, you think I'm still young? When I was younger, in my professional life, we were part of a loose association of groups. My principal then was the head of, was the director of legal service of CLO. And I remember when I was doing some of those cases in fundamental human rights, I felt maybe this is why I came to read law, not merely because of the money. Because I took particular joy in doing cases in which you could identify some wrong had been done and you needed to cure it and all that. So it gave one some particular sense of joy. Then during the military era, you remember there were so many citizen groups which tried, in fact this democracy we have now owes much to many of those groups. If you remember, some of our military rulers actually wanted to be permanent dictators. And it was
switching over from military to Agbada.
Exactly.
To Agbada.
In fact, we were lucky. With Abacha, he was so determined that he set up 5 parties, and they all said it was him they were going to give political manipulation. They all said it was him and only him.
Step down and become,
yes, it was him and only him that could become. We were just lucky that the man just died. If he had not died, perhaps right now we'll be living under dictatorship. But all those groups gave him and others before him, IBB, also it was rumored that IBB, that was his intention as late as 1990, that it was his intention to become a permanent ruler. And citizens pushed him to the wall, gathering of citizens. The problem I'm seeing nowadays, and I ask often, where are the gathering of citizens like that? That group that can be called civil society. It's vanishing. You see, if you say rulers come from followers, but recently I read an article, and you see the number of governors who become senators, who become governors, who become presidents. You can't now truthfully say that leadership is coming from followership again. No, it seems that now in Nigeria, leadership is recycling itself. But where are the citizens? That's the problem. Where are we? Where is the citizen? That's why Olu's talk is very important. We need to awaken the office of the citizen, whether as one or in the collective. So you find the Caucasians, as an individual, they are not strong, but they are strong as a collective. We need to awaken the office of citizen, joining hand to hand.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for your input. Stephen Agiode is next after the break.